Today we're back to work on the 1972 Chevelle here we call Independence. If you haven't seen how I picked this car up and got it home, I'll throw a link up here somewhere. You can click on it. Not sure how that works. I suspect witchcraft. Today we're going to put a trunk support, trunk floor, fuel cell, and fuel pump in this thing. And we might even just doll it up a little bit. So again, if you're not familiar with this Chevelle over here, it's in what most people would call an advanced state of decay. I mean, it's rotten. Literally every single panel on the car is dented, beaten, falling off, or rusted, with the exception of the roof. Every single panel on the car. In fact, if we were to do a full restoration, we would have to do a frame swap for starters, and then we'd need mid five figures in body panels and body work and you name it. And since super high dollar builds with a bunch of free parts is not what this channel is about, we decided just to make a fun haver and just go raise some heck and let some freedom fly. So we're calling it a dedicated burnout car, but we might take it to the drag strip or car shows or cruises or hot rod power tour. We don't really know yet. It's kind of like G-Funk era funked out with a gangsta twist. I've got a Pro-Charge 460 Chevy big block we're putting together right now. So I want to get this fuel system buttoned up so I could just boop and then let that thing sing. So I'm going to start by cleaning up of what's left that looks like metal or resembles it slightly in the trunk. And then I don't have a plan, but I do have a series of events that I'd like to strictly follow. Well, the great news is this looks about 4.87% better. Here's what all came out of it. I could have got more, but I'm lazy and didn't want to sweep anymore. I did end up just trimming on the foam a little bit. They did a good job. I brought her down, even there. Got to looking in here while I was ruining my lungs. This is not good when the tire goes. It's just gonna knife it up. So I think I'm gonna take the lightning scissors and just freehand it in here, come up real high, and get rid of all this. And then of course, sometime in the future, I'll never fix it. I get quite a bit of emails on this lightning scissor machine. It's a Plasma 20 by Lincoln, and it's actually really affordable. Just about anybody could pick this thing up. And it's done everything I've ever asked of it. Nice little unit. So I'm gonna jump in here and just start. Yep. Okay. Reevaluate. Oh, hey there, little guy. Just hang on. Okay. Sure. Oh. Here I am. little smoky in here, but I think I got her whipped out. This side is, you know, she's carved up in there. Got this support cut off where I think I need it, and then trimmed up a little bit here. And then took the flap disc and kind of just smoothed some stuff out. Hit the frame rails, tops of these. When I cut this side out, they had a little tag in there. And lo and behold, that was basically the only thing that was holding this on. I was gonna wait to address the body till the very end, but I might have to fix this quick. Okay, well that's fixed. So now we'll move on and get this trunk support in here first. Then we can, you know, make all this just look brand new. Then we'll finally move on to setting in that pan. Jessica swung by the shop and wants to pitch in, so I'm gonna gladly just put her straight to work on it. You think we'll be able to get most of this done?
I think so.
We've only got a couple hours and we have parent-teacher conferences, so we gotta get out of here. Of course, the first thing she does when she walks in the door is put the heat on 107.
It's so cold outside.
I'm never gonna financially recover from this.
Oh gosh. All right, so we made a couple marks and we decided that we're gonna cut it off right here and then we're gonna weld it in. The part that we're welding this to in the car is pretty rotten, so the best chance at getting a strong weld is by plug welding. So I'm gonna pop a few holes in this before we put it in there, and hopefully that'll help it stay in there a little bit better. All right, let's go weld this in. The girl mods will get these stickers off here before we weld it in. Since we're layering up the metal in here, we're gonna use a little of this weld through primer because, you know, we don't want this thing to rust.
Easy, that's expensive.
Well, we gotta make sure she works.
I talked Jessica into welding this for me because frankly I'm tired of climbing over this thing. The legs just don't do it right. She's got it clamped in here. Yep, looks good enough. And then we made sure we have enough room back here to stretch this up. And she drilled some holes in there too so we can plugalize that up just like on the assembly line. So she'll zap this in quick and then I think we're ready to coat everything down. And it's Taco Thursday, so I think we're gonna go do that while that dries. That'll work just fine. Awesome. We'll get her climbed out, get this clamped into place, and then get that spun in as well. Oh, how'd it go?
Good enough.
Oh, I think that looks great.
Oh yeah.
Good enough for this car for sure. Actually, while you're in there, I'm gonna hand you some painter's tape. You could squirrel back in there and cover up them white tubes.
Okay.
And then we could spray this down quick before we go to lunch.
Yes.
So this is what I'm gonna try on the trunk. I do have some Pour 15 left over from the other projects, but this is gonna be easier to all around in there. Plus I could touch it up a lot easier in the future. So I bought, I think 5 cans of this. It was like $6, I think, a can, something like that. And then for the frame, I'm gonna use what I always use, which is just low gloss engine paint. I'm gonna use the semi-gloss. This is the DE 1635. There is a 1634, which is a low gloss. This is really dirty, but that's what it looks like. I've used it for 2 decades on frames and it turns out really good. Plus it virtually sticks to anything, which is a huge plus because we don't exactly have what's called paint prep going on in here. How's it coming in here?
Did you call it semi-gloss?
Yeah, what do you call it?
Semi-gloss?
Oh boy. I don't. Tomatoes. That looks way too good for what we're doing, but thank you.
I asked you how good you wanted it.
I'm glad you're doing this because I literally could not fit back there. Guys got this side just licked out already. And I'm not doing this because it looks cool or good or any of that stuff. I'm actually just doing this because now's the only opportunity to get the top of the frames and stuff like that. And trying to save the 33.2% of the frame that's left, basically. And this is what the side looks like undone, of course. And this will dry to that semi-gloss, or is it semi?
I say semi.
Okay, whatever. S-gloss. But I'm just, that means really getting it in there. And once this dries, we'll lay the pan in. And I did test fit this a second ago, and it's close-ish. I can't remember where I got it. Yikes. I can't remember where I got this one from. It's not what I would call a restoration piece. Easy. I mean, it doesn't fit exact, but it's good enough for what we're doing, which is, can all of this just hold up the weight of a fuel cell, basically, right?
Let's hope so.
So as a reminder, we're just going to set this in and we're just going to pop rivet this thing in because what's left in the car, it's not going to Zeus together correct. I mean, it would be just an absolute nightmare. So we're going to fit this in fairly correctly, screw it down, hold it into place, and we're just going to drill out some holes, pop some pop rivets in this thing, and that's going to be plenty strong for what we're going after. We wire wheeled some of the stickers off. And then when we're finished, we'll come back and take that bed liner and just kind of, put some lipstick on it. Ready to get this thing in there?
Let's do it.
Oh, this some?
Did.
Okay, it's in and it's good enough for what we're doing, but I'll show you what I was talking about, how it's not really a restoration piece. You can see how this one's this way, this bumps that way, this one's this way, and then these just progressively get worse. So it's nowhere near a drop-in or a replica of original equipment. But for this use, it's going to be fine. We self-tapped it in, kind of the corners and whatnot, and then we did a test run with the pop rivet, and that's going to work just fine. So Jessica's going to finish drilling these out. We just made some red marker holes where we think we need them anyway. Putting these rivets in. It's a little tough for Jessica, but she's getting it. It takes quite a bit of pressure to break them off. Got it. It's looking pretty snazzy. Might turn out a little bit nicer than I hoped for, which isn't saying a lot. I'll help you push it flat.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that pulls it together pretty good actually. About the same as the screw, but more semi kind of sort of permitish. Temporary.
Is that a word?
It is now. Write it down.
Okay.
Well, a guy and a gal, we do have all of them in except where the screws are. And my hope is we can pull those screws out and put a pop rivet in that same hole. Might have to get a larger size rivet. I'm not sure if I have any bigger than that, but we're about to find out. But this is going to be plenty strong.
Did I miss one? No?
I think that'll be okay. Should be one down there. And then, can you reach that with your T-Rex arms?
Stop.
Nope. stripped it.
I did not.
It's ruined.
Stop.
Never coming out.
I can't.
Get the toy.
There.
Oh, okay, you got it. One more. All right, we'll see if a rivet goes in these. I think it will. Pan is in and done. It's about time. Jessica had to run, get the kids from school and, you know, get dolled up for the conferences, whatever that entails. I'm getting ready to paint this thing, and I do want this truck bed coating to stick longer than a felony. So I'm gonna throw some of this Ace of Base sauce down first, wipe everything off, and then I'll take the old hair dryer over here and air dry it, and then just, you know, I'm gonna put 37, 42, 12 coats. I don't know. Whatever I can get out of the can, basically. Tell you what, it's cheaper than a case of beer. Man.
To the silent night, an endless fall, like cuts from 1,000 knives. I hear you call, but I'm still stumbling.
I think the guys got her done. It actually turned out not too bad. And if for some reason your backwoods is me to use truck bed liner in your trunk, some advice: make sure once you press the button, you just keep at her. I mean, you can't stop or these things clog up. Didn't seem like no matter how much I shook the thing, it helped. I had my air nozzle here and just kept blowing it out and keeping at it. And for reference, 3 cans did the whole thing. These guys aren't a partner or anything like that, and even if they were, I'm still gonna shoot you straight. The nozzle is not so goodish, but I mean, it does bring out a lot of material, so. But it did decent. Took maybe 15, 20 minutes, something like that. So now I'm gonna let this dry overnight, and then in the morning we'll fit in the fuel cells, kind of see how that looks. And then I've got a Holley fuel pump over here. We can take a closer look at that and how that's gonna work. Well, it is the next day now, and this unintentionally turned out to look pretty dang good. I don't know what Jessica did up here with the tape, but it took me 17 hours to get all that stuff out. If you're wondering what this is, that's just a trunk extension inner quarter panel. I plucked that out because this is just kind of floppulating down here. But I should add that the Poverty Chrome held up really good. I mean, that's hanging in there. Harbor Freight. This side is still in there. I'm not quite sure what to do. I might scoop that out like chocolate chip cookie dough, because this is just really flammable stuff. And I intend on having multiple tire fires, hopefully at the same time, but you never know. But repeatedly and over time, I know that's gonna go up, and then we're gonna have fuel right here. So that's probably not a good combination, not sure. Been there before, we'll figure it out. I'm gonna get the fuel cell. We'll kind of lay that in there so we can hook the peepers on it and kind of put the look together. It's gonna be about something like this-ish. We'll probably put it up on some rubber pads or pedestals before we strap it down. But last night I got to thinking about it, and I think I am gonna change the tank. There's a couple reasons for that. 777 needs a bigger tank because I might, just maybe, take it on Hot Rod Drag Week. And this would be great for that car. And the other thing is, I think I want more capacity for this car, so it's taller, and then I want a center fill neck probably. So before I run straps in here, I want to get the right tank. And that's one of the reasons we put the trunk supports back in, is that's where we're going to anchor to. So kind of give you an idea, but that's not the tank that I'm going to end up using. This one will go into the 777. That's just fuel pickup, fuel return. This is your rollover vent that you can vent out wherever you want it to go. And then GM sending unit. Of course, you can get these for Dodge, Ford, whatever. And then the other part of it is I got to figure out fuel lineage. Kind of thinking about maybe using one of the factory drain plugs, because the frame rail is right here and that's open, and I can follow the inside of the frame all the way down, or I can maybe make a new provision back here and go down. I haven't decided. You guys can help me out with that. What should we do with the fuel lines? The stock vents here, so all of the fuel lines originally run right here and then up, over, and down. I gotta keep them out of the tire, out of the wheel well. And if we ever take this to the track, they're gonna look at fuel line routing as well. So we gotta keep that in mind. Here's the pump I'm using. It's by Holley. And this is their universal Holley fuel pump. And it's universal because the pumps here can be lowered or raised depending on the height of your fuel cell. And it just slides up and down on these rods here. And then you just tighten the clamp. And the kit comes with the sock and instruction and tools and everything to plug this right in. And they have 12 bolt, 6 bolt, you know, all of that stuff. This thing is machined really well. I'm actually really impressed with how this is constructed. Next time the guy's on the fuel system, it's gonna go really quick. Just throw the old strapulators down on the fuel cell there. Run those fuel lines, plumb them up front for that big block. Should go pretty quick. Makes us one step closer to firing up that engine. I think that's gonna do it for this video. If you're interested in this build and you wanna follow along, maybe just consider hitting that button there, guy. It says subscribe, that'll do it for you. And the bell thing I learned over the last couple of years gives you a notification of some sort. That's neat. Thanks for watching. See you next time.